Let me ask you something. As a buyer's agent, we buy plenty of properties all the time, and it's every third one, I might find something that I've never come across. It doesn't matter how long I've been in this game. I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I still come across. So the people that are starting out, there's so many ways in which you can encounter issues as well. Do you find on your land subdivisions that even today, after all these years you've been doing it, do you still find that you come up, or you get things come up that you're like, wow, never had this one before?
This is an ongoing joke between myself and friends that do the same thing, and we joke about the air quote simple project because it's often the one that you go into thinking, oh man, this is a lay down misere. This one is everything you hope for. This is the cookie cutter one, but then that's the one where your excavator gets on site and puts the bucket into the ground, and there you go. Someone's buried asbestos under the slab before they built the house, or there's always different things. And one we've got going on at the moment in Griffin. We're in the pre-lodgement meeting with the council, and they said, oh, look, we want a mosquito management plan.
Griffin's got mosquitoes, though. It's got a lot. I know
Griffin. It does, but even my town planner had not heard of this. And I put it out to all my friends and colleagues that do similar things. I'm like, does anyone know anyone that does mosquito management plans? Because that's a specialty consultant thing.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was a thing either. And we'd never heard of it. And everyone's response back to me was like, nah, never heard of it. So there's a new one.
Well, I thought council has a management plan. They're the ones spraying it.
They do.
That's the management plan.
They do. But as I've learned now, part of that management plan is basically making sure we have no sitting water on the site when we're developing it. Yeah. And I actually don't mind this one because I might implement this at my house. So there's apparently trees that actually attract mosquitoes, and that's what the council wants, because then they just come along with their sprayers and just spray that particular tree instead of dropping spray out of helicopters. Yeah. So I'll probably find out what these trees are and plant them.
But I've heard there's trees that actually repel mosquitoes as well, like little plants you can get. So you could plant them around your house and keep them away. So I don't know. I've never done it. I've read it on Google, so it's got to be true.
Must be true.
Got to be
Must
true.
be true. Everything in Google is true.
Talk to us about this project. Let's go into this project. Give us an example. So of entry costs. Where was it at? How did it all play out?
All right, I'll do the best of this I can off the top of my head. They'll be roughly accurate. Yeah. So this one we purchased for $1,050,000. Yep. So $1,050,000, and the development cost for this one will be around that $300,000 to $400,000 mark. So with that one there, obviously we've got the renovation in there. That's going to add a bit of additional cost. But general rule is, rule of thumb is you don't spend $1 unless you can make 3 off it on a reno. So we will. This is one of the most challenging things with renos, and for me personally as well, is there's keeping your ego out of it. As in, you're not renovating the property for you. You're not renovating the property for your wife or for your mother. It's about creating the most amount of value for the least amount of cost, so that you're actually getting that return. And this is, I always talk about, when tradies get into renos, this is often where they kind of fall off the wagon a bit because they know their trade, but they don't necessarily know the reno for profit strategy. And then they get sidetracked into, we've got to make this, we've got to do that. And it's, where do you draw the line? Where do you stop? Because if you don't draw that line, you'll never stop. But at some point, the profit stops coming back. But so that one we'll sell the house itself for probably roughly around what we pay for the whole site. We'll probably sell it for about 1.1, 1.2. And when you hear me talk about the free block of land strategy, that's what I'm talking about there. Is we bought the whole thing for just over $1 million. We'll renovate the house and we'll sell the house for basically what we bought the whole parcel for. But then we'll still have that block of land sitting next door. And now that's an exciting place at the moment, what's happening in land, because as you see, it's a very segmented market at the moment. There are areas that are just going crazy. Yes. I mean, some areas we're working in, we've seen 25% growth in the last 10 months, some more. In other areas, it's kind of stuff's just sitting on the market, and so there's that segmentation. But land, particularly anything below 600,000 at the moment in southeast Queensland, is feverish. Above that point, it gets a bit more challenging, which this project will be there. Like that, the land for this project will be above that 600,000 mark. So I'm not going to expect it just to walk off the shelf like other stuff. Yeah. But it's pretty exciting what's happening in that space at the moment.
But I've got one of those right now. 1,000 square metre, subdividable, no easements, side access, retained subdivide, right? And the house we're looking to turn, it's got 2.4 metre height downstairs already. Super rare high set at 2.4 metres. I think I see one in every 500 or one in 1,000 that are a high set, not a Queenslander style, just a high set with 2.4, legit 2.4. So it's already got the bedrooms and everything downstairs. Just got to add a kitchenette, fire check ceiling, separate the two. 10% on purchase price. And yes, I'll probably get $450 and $550 or whatever I get rent out of that. And then subdivide, retain, and yeah, good to go. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk more about that. But exactly what you're talking about. That's why I love hearing what you're saying. I'm like, oh, I've got that going on now. So it's good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. From yourself that that's an appealing strategy, because I'm definitely doing it now, and especially getting two rents out of that first house.
Yeah, which is actually something we looked at on this one. Unfortunately, this one definitely not legal height underneath. And the great thing is I don't need a tape measure if I bump my head.
Do you walk through and do it? Because I walk through, and when I stand up and just touch the ceiling, I know if I'm fully extended, it's 2.4.
Yeah, I think
you're taller than me.
Well, back in my volleyball days, I did know my reach exactly. Which I think the volleyball net's 2.44, and then so I think my reach is like 2.6.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
if I put a flat hand,
so your palm,
yeah.
So there you go. So I just do that all the time and just go, okay, that's that much.
The tradies have a laugh when I walk up, because my wingspan is exactly 2 meters. So it's like, if you want to know, if we want to measure something, I just walk up, basically hug the wall, and we know what we're at.
There you go. All these strategies, mate, all strategy. So so with that one, so 1.05.
Yes.
And then 1.05, retain, subdivide. Did you renovate the house? What did we do with the front house?
So that one's actually still in the works. So we actually DA approvals due this week, and we don't always do this. We put tenants into this one for the time being. A couple of reasons. There's a housing shortage. So go back 5 years. If you had a project where you had a house available for 6 to 12 months, we didn't bother putting it on the market because no one wanted a 6-month lease. Yeah. Whereas in this current market, people have been very happy to take a 6-month lease, even if they knew they needed to move out at the end of it. It's not for everyone, but there's a need for that at the moment. So we actually did rent it out, and then basically once we get the DA approval, get the operational works approval, around that point we'll probably be near the 12-month mark from when we started on it. And then the tenants will move out. Then we'll renovate that while we're doing the subdivision and connecting all the services.